Hey, it's Andre. It's time for another Friday Flying Update. It survived. I got some CG work to do. I know that is the prop angle, but... I took a few bites out of her. That's not bad. None that I can't repair. What a testament to the durability of foam board and the design of the aircraft. My air completely, as I said in the video when I posted it, yeah, I got CG wrong. Needs a little bit more nose weight. I was flying with some 4S Zippy Compacts 2200, so not enough nose weight. Had the CG wrong as well, and did a little damage, but nothing too crazy. Nothing a little hot glue and tape couldn't fix. So hopefully this weekend, the Hangar RC Wasp will get out there. If you saw in the video the launch, there's tons of power off that 4S setup. I did break the prop, so I just threw on a master air screw 10x7. So very similar setup, probably a lot more durable. And I may set the prop, depending on the landings, I'll know if I'm going to set the prop up on the ESC, for stopping, you know, so it parks when I land, so it doesn't freewheel. So yeah. Anyhow, this thing is amazing. I can't wait to get out there and fly it. I've got a lot of faith that it's going to be one of those ones I fly often. I do need to still spray it, and unfortunately some of the gray, you can see where it got a little wet on landing. It's a little scraped up on the bottom from some of the other fun. So anyhow, it's going to come. Foam board is awesome. That's all I'm going to say. It is a jam-packed update. There's a lot I've got going on. I'm really starting to push forward towards some of the fall activities or winter activities and the builds. And one of the items, I'm just going to get rid of this bad boy. One of the other items in the build is something that came in from Banggood. This is the, what is it? Dancing Wings Hobby, and this is just a little T30 trainer balsa build. Was just looking for something cute, small, and simple. I won't try and extract the box because it was a little crate. Well, I'm doing it. Can I get it open? Little canopy, not bad. And there it is. There's some limited instructions. All the gear and everything are in the side of the box, which is flying away. Anyhow, it's definitely a winter project, into the winter project. This is a lot of stuff I'm building towards. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it looks good. It's a good size. I'm going to use one of my, the T28 setup that I had in my old Park Zone that I've passed off to another friend. I'm going to use that on 4S, and I think it'll be great. In fact, I was out recently to Great Hobbies looking at their new store and picked up, I had some red, so I picked up some white, and I picked up some checkers, so I think we know the theme of this airplane. So it should look pretty good. Might have to put a pilot inside that canopy, who knows. I'm just going to have fun with it. It looks like a pretty simple build from Banggood. I also picked up a bunch of clamps to lock it down together, so a little CA, a little kicker, and we've got an airplane. Was going to try and fly the Defiant D28, but I had a bummed ESC. It spun up fine in test, but in the field I went and threw it back and forth. It was an Afro, but it had a ridiculously low rated back on board. So when I progressively move the servos, it actually would brown out the system. So thank goodness that happened on the ground before I threw it. And yeah, put an Aerostar 30 amp in there, spun it up. It works great. It's ready to go. So this weekend, 4S 1800. My terrible laminating job on this thing, that goes back to the other laminate. I'll get better at it. And who cares? You can't see it when you're flying FPV, but it's colorful and visual enough. So I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of Defiant, I forgot. I didn't even prep it out when I put everything on the bench. It's here. It's here. I am so freaking excited. Thank you, Sean. This is prototype number 3. It has a full wing. It's actually a little different than the spec that's out right now. And that comes back down to, it's just basically, it was one of the development planes. So I paid for shipping on it and had them send it over to me. And it's nice. right on the nose for 250 grams with a full FPV system. So I will put some kind of micro thing. For now, I'm just going to run one of my little 1S cameras on board. It's got an FR Sky receiver in there, and I did do 2 servos, so one per aileron plus the one on the elevator. 12 amp Afros, these are just old things I had sitting around, and then the 1306 2300 kV DYS. Is that DYS, which is I think defunct company now. Anyhow, it's going to fly this weekend, I believe. It's all ready to go. So thank you, Sean. Again, the Defiant Wings Renegade. You know, mine's just a 2S setup. I probably can put an extra battery in there, and it felt pretty darn good. About the only technical thing I may change down the road is move those servos forward a tiny bit, but I'm waiting on whatever FPV system I ultimately run there to decide where that CG point is going to be. But for now, feels pretty darn good. I mean, look at that thing. It's freaking wild. Love it. I can't wait to just storm around. I think you can see a lot of action from this airplane as far as I go. Now, FPV on a big scale. If you looked at the social media, I kind of dubbed this the SH-18T because it's a Skyhunter 1800 millimeter and twin. And the wing, which is where the bulk of my work this week is coming on. You can see the nacelles are glued in. I did have to go to pick up some more foam tack from Great Hobbies, and I've been slowly over the last couple nights cutting in the channels for all the wiring and doing all the ESC wiring and everything. So we're getting closer and closer to this airplane flying. It's going to fly on 6S, so I do need to test and verify this power system. This is the power system that came out of the now long dead Sea Duck. And so that was on 9.45 or 9.5 inch props on 4S. So I've gone down to 8.5 on 6S. May have to limit the throttle. We'll see. I mean, if it doesn't work out, I can change the motors and the ESCs down the road. But for now, we're just trying this. I've been 3D printing and I'm having a really good time and learning. So this is a big, crazy FPV transmitter. And like, there was the mount version 1. And I slowly began changing the plans, thinning out some pieces and everything, and just I actually did glue the piece that comes with the airplane stock into the back, and then I screwed that in so I can change this. And if I decide to change the antenna, I can unscrew this and turn this sideways and have the antenna coming up versus this guy. And so that's a powerful FPV, 5.8, so I can play with the frequencies, and it's switchable from the control board. And that's the Maytech 405 wing. So I'm going to be wiring that up very soon inside the airplane. So things are coming along nice and steady with this airplane, and I'm really enjoying the fact that it's a $40 airplane. It cost me $40 used to buy all the equipment, but I'm not like carving into the wings and stuff like that. I'm not worried about it. So super thrilled about that. And the tail section. I've got a thing with orange lately going on. I don't know, but like that orange PLA I've been printing with has been really good, and I had orange tape, so everything has been kind of going on. Some of the recommendations, there's a lot of really good YouTube videos out there about how to set this thing up. So running that elevator servo in a different orientation and just slowly just picking this thing off little by little for transport. I do think I can get it in the car with this off, so it's pull the servo lead out, which is down here, and pull this whole section off, put that in the car, and I think I can slide this thing through even at 1800 millimeters, and it will be fine. So, yeah. Flying the EC 1500 last weekend was awesome. Really happy to get the airplane out, and it did really well with those batteries and everything. The only thing I noticed was the steering servo was in the opposite direction to the rudder, so I had to disable that at the field, but I put an inverter in because I've only got the 6-channel stock receiver in there, even though I don't think that plane really needs AS/RX, but it was handy in the wind, definitely flew really well. So there we go. Lots going on, lots of projects to go. I was asked about the biplane. It will come along into the winter, and I will do a little bit some build projects on that and some build videos around that, but I decided that was not going to get into the air this summer based on all the COVID stuff and everything, and parts being out with other resources that are locked. So I'm going to keep working on that plane throughout the winter, and then obviously you're going to see the T-30 trainer come up as a minor small balsa build project. Got some foam board ideas. Stay tuned for a podcast, not this weekend, next weekend, so the first weekend in November. That will be with Hangar RC Sam, and we're going to be talking about my experience flying and building that wonderful, wonderful Wasp. Again, this thing is amazing. It's a huge foam board plane, but it's so cool. So I'm Andre. Have an awesome weekend. Happy Halloween.